A beautiful day to you out there. How are you doing today? I am doing good and I know you are doing great as well. It's time for Talk to Be. It's Talk to Be, baby. I am so glad to be here today. How have you been? God bless you all. Thank you all for watching Talk to Be. To all of you that has been sharing, telling people about this show, I am here to say Namaste. Thank you so much. God bless you. I am grateful. If you have not been talking to people, please share, like, comment. Let others come and learn from where you're learning from. It's very important. Talk to Be is not only about celebrities. This platform is not for celebrities alone. Either you are a celebrity or not a celebrity. In our own way, we are all celebrities anyway. So please, it's just for us to learn. It's for you to see people, hear their experiences, learn from them. That's what Talk to Be is all about. So if you have not been watching, you've been missing. But at the same time, you haven't missed so much because you can still scroll down this page and see all that we've got for you. Guys, today I have an amazing guest in the house, somebody that I've been longing for her to be on the show. But today, she finally made it. But before I introduce her, I'd like to go for a commercial break. And also, if you love these jewelries, if you are a jewelry lover and you are looking for a good place to buy, then you can check out Jewelry by B on Instagram. Jewelry by B. All this is there. They are very affordable. And you see what I'm wearing? If you love it, this is from RTWB5000 on Instagram, right? Simple, affordable. Just check the page. The prices are all there. Check them out and you will thank me later. I'll go for a break and I'll be back with my guest. Don't go away.
Talk to Be.
Talk to Be.
Talk to Be.
Talk to Be.
Talk to Be. Talk to Be.
Talk to Be.
Talk to Be.
Yeah, you have to talk to Be.
Talk
Talk to Be.
Talk to Be.
Talk to Be.
Talk to Be. Share your experience.
Thank you for staying tuned on the show. You're still watching Talk to Be. And like I told you earlier, I have a beautiful guest in the house with me. Someone who is like a sister to me. My boss, actually, she taught me how to make up. Unfortunately, I didn't go for that. I was supposed to upgrade myself. Emma Bumio. So in case you see my bro goes like this, so she's somebody that I respect so much, a brilliant person. I know that, you see, one of those people that you can't be with and not learn something. It's not possible. You're going to learn one or two things today. So I'm so privileged to have her. She's a very busy person. So I appreciate the fact that she's able to join us in the studio. Join me as I welcome my boss. Good day, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Same here.
I know you're a very, very busy person, but tracking you down is a whole lot. And then the day you told me that I would love to come on the show to tell people my story, I was wowed because I know sitting with you, I know what that gets me all the time. And then you coming here, I know a lot of people are going to learn today. Thank you so much. Out of your busy schedule, I know the way Lagos is. I know the way all of us are busy. Me, for you to get me, So when I get people, I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
I am grateful, and I'm sure my fans also are grateful to have you. So let's meet this amazing woman, this enigma of beauty. You guys are look at the mouth of ground and the mouth of hole. So let's meet you. Who are you?
All right. Thanks for having me on the show. I do not take that for granted, and don't mind that really. All right. Okay. So my name is Yetunde Adebayo. Like you said, I'm an entrepreneur. I call myself a serial entrepreneur.
Serial. That is important.
My friends call me a multipreneur like that, you know. And I'd say I'm a professional makeup artist, a photographer. I'm a school director. I'm a writer, and I do a lot of things, really. Yes.
You see, God has blessed some people and he has blessed some people specially. I know that. So there is no reason to compete with some people. This woman, makeup, she's good at it. Photography, she's good at it. Now a proprietor at the same time, not just anyhow school, a big school at that. You see, in one person, she does other things though. I'm sure with time she'll be saying it and you'll be wondering like, only you, ẹ̀yin nìkan, kí ló dé, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀. Well, Grace, let me tell.
I tap into yours as well. The grace I want to tap into is more of the shape and the beauty, really. Some of us are aging, while some are anti-aging, you know.
Thank God. Okay, so let's go. Let's meet you more.
All right. Okay, so okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about my person.
Before that, I think you've introduced yourself.
Yeah.
Before we go into it, let's have a little clue into your background. What was it like? What was growing up for you like? So we have the picture and we can say, but you didn't get this from the beginning. How come you're this? So what was growing up like for you?
All right, growing up for me, I'd say like many Nigerians, like I didn't grow up with a silver or golden spoon to say. I grew up in the heart of Agege. I was born, bred in Agege. And I grew up in an environment where you don't get to see a lot of successful people. Yes, I think the stake then was, growing up for me, you'd see, especially if you're a female child, you see a lot of people that once they get to that junior secondary school, secondary school sort of, and their parents are ready to show them off, as in you're ready to go and get married and settle down. And you see parents brag about their girl child, like, okay, so person is going to finish up school now, she's going to be a mother, and you see them getting married to carpenters, bricklayers, and the likes of it. So I grew up in that kind of environment. But one good thing that happened to me and my siblings is we are fortunate to have parents, especially my mom, you know, who was so concerned about our going to school. She was so concerned about us getting education. I'd remember that my mom would raise a prayer point every morning, and I wondered, mommy ma wash your cup, mommy ma wash your cup, and you'd want to like literally say, now I'm seeing NYC people, I just shake my head like, you don't know what my mom, how well my mom fasted for this to happen to some of us, you know. So I grew up in that kind of environment like that. Yes, but one good thing was my parents did well to send us to a good school, really, at least then. Private school, yes, a good private school, primary school to start with. Then afterwards, we were sent to school in, you know, then we didn't really have much of private secondary school. It's either you're going to a grammar school or you're going to a federal government college or a command school sort of. So I was fortunate to attend a grammar school. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so from the there is a part that we didn't say the part that she's a mother of beautiful girls, girls all through, and also a beautiful wife too. One fine uncle like that. One fine uncle like that. But before we get to that, so how about your higher institution? Okay. How was that life compared to where you were coming from?
All right, so like I said, growing up was, you know, when you grow up in a kind of environment where you don't get a lot of people like you go to school, sometimes even for parents too, there is no motivation. Nothing motivates you really. But when you see people succeed around you, it's easy for you to really want to catch into the euphoria of that moment and also be motivated. So I'd say that from secondary school, really, the life in secondary school was different. I schooled in Ogun State. I was living with my grandma, and I think my grandma helped me a lot growing up, and she motivated something in me. You know, being elderly, she didn't really go to school, but I'd say that I noticed and I observed that my grandma was intelligent, even though she wasn't so learned. One day I asked my grandma and I said, Mama, why you have a lovely handwriting, and how come you didn't go to school? And she said something to me. She said, okay, she was really intelligent while growing up, but then they don't encourage female children to go to school. So she had to step down for our elder brother, you know, but she was the brilliant one, but she had to step down. And eventually our elder brother became an ambassador, you know, one of the foremost ambassador in Nigeria. And, you know, that thing got at me, really. Maybe it got me angry, or I had this reservation about education and about, you know, women being successful, because I felt like the story would have changed if my grandma was the ambassador, or if, you know, those days, even if you end up going to secondary school or finishing up, you know, it gets you a better job, it puts you in a better position. So I was like, why would the word allow, you know, what's the justification that you will not put down someone's destiny, you know? So we couldn't get much after life. And I'm a strong believer of, see, the path your parents follow or your ancestors followed has a lot of role it plays in your life, either you like it or not.
That's right.
And as Dangote, you know, Dangote is rich, but we also know that, yeah, the story from the grandpa being wealthy and all of that. So yeah, so I made up my mind that I was going to grow up to be successful. And I'm going to teach my children, if I ever have even female children, I'm going to teach them to be strong-willed and to fight for what they want and to go get it. Yeah.
That's a good one. So now, how did the journey, I know the first one that I know that you've been doing was makeup. So how did the journey into makeup and diving into other professions, how did you get there? Is it from, have you always had it? Do you understand? So growing up, I know makeup was not a popular thing. So how did you go about
Okay,
that?
so for me, really, I was really intelligent while I was in secondary school and while I was in school. Yeah, so I've always thought I was going to do medicine or probably be a lawyer, something like that, you know. But life happens to many of us, and when life happens, you just have to pick the pieces of your life, you know, from where if you really need to get somewhere, you really just need to pick the pieces of your life and move on with it. But I also believe that because I come from a background where I understand the power of intelligence, I'll tell you that I can do anything. I'm telling you, I believe that, see, if you're determined, some people say passion. Yes, there's a place of passion and there's a place of intelligence and hard work too, and diligence. So makeup for me, I tell people that I am not one of those foremost makeup artists that would say I'm passionate about makeup. No. But I'm diligent about being a makeup artist and I'm hardworking. So it pays off for me at the end of the day. You know, it's either your passion pays off for you or your hard work, your diligence pays off for you. So, but that was not the best of me.
That's right.
It was just a way to survive. Being a makeup artist was a way of survival and just, doing something for myself, you know. If the world won't give me the kind of job I want, if the world won't, you know, the kind of saying they say, from a lemon, you make a lemonade. And so I was trying to make lemonade out of life. Yes. Yeah.
So where was your area of passion after all?
All right. If you'd asked me, I think my area of passion is in impacting people, in a bit of tech. Yeah, tech. Anything scientific. Yes, was something I'd love to do, and maybe public speaking and all that is something I'd really
want to.
Yeah.
Okay, are you doing any of those now? I know you're into schools and all of that, so, and that's one area to impact, but are you really, do you think you're in your area of passion now?
Oh yeah, so right now, like I said, like people call me a multipreneur. Like I do a lot of things. I do event planning. I do I do finger foods. I do fashions and all of that. Yeah, Nigeria would say that's the beauty of being in Nigeria. You are all hustlers. If you know your way around Nigeria, you'll be a successful person at the end of the day. But really, I'm beginning to do all of those things, and I see them come to fruition at the end of the day. Yes, so I'm now in that space where yes, I've been able to grow myself, and I'm prepared and I'm ready for what the world asks for me now. You get, so I was able to use like the way you're about saying for if you don't have, you know, just start from where you are right now. You know where you're going to. I see a lot of people come and say, I want to be this, but I don't have what it takes to be this. Start with something. Get the funds you want from that thing and begin to groom yourself. Right now I'm schooling. I'm doing my MBA in an international school, and people ask me, how you able to pay your fund your schools, and I'm like, just laugh. I'm like, yeah. You know, I had to get out with something first. I had to put something on the table myself. So yes, you know where you're going to. If you don't have what the means to get there, sometimes I'm also going to say cut corners, because when I say cut corners, people would now read meaning to it. But I'm saying if it means that you come from point A to point B and you keep moving like that, one day you're going to get to your final destination at the end of the day.
That's right. That's right. All right. Thank you, Umidon. So let's go a little bit into your journey into marriage.
Okay.
And then being a mother of only girls.
Okay.
What kind of, is that in alignment with the belief of your in-laws? What is the bad news? In our Instagram tab.
Yeah.
So let's start from marriage first for you. And how was it like conceiving? Was it like immediately? How did you meet your husband? Let's go a little, let's dive in.
Okay, so meeting my husband, it was more like an Egma Dubo, really, but we were not talking, and I met him through a friend. I was at a friend's house, really, and they were all over the Egma, like, this Egma that has a car, and I was just like, duh, and he walked up, he was with his friends, I think they were all coming back from work one day, and he walked up to me, and I was like, sorry, your friend said if I come and approach you, you're going to insult me, and at that moment, I couldn't be defensive, so I was just like, oh, why should I, why would I want to insult you? And from there, one thing led to another, and yes, we became friends, really. Initially, it was like an egbon that I would talk to. It would motivate me, do this, get this done, and all of that. I didn't see love. I'd say this. But really, I come from a spiritual background. We were raised to believe in God and also have this relationship with God. My husband then would, all those kotoble that they used to wear, that all those big kotoble. My kind of spec of a man is a bloke. Had parks, tall, handsome, dark, and all that. Yeah. But it's just this Ijesha man that does not, he's cute.
It's cute.
But the six packs wasn't there for me, and the other will now wear oversized photo blare like that. And so love was not even in the place for me, really. But I've always also wanted I've always thought deeply about the kind of future I want. Really, sincerely. Growing up for me, I'd always wanted something, and I write it down. I said, this is the kind of man I want. I don't know what it's going to look like, but this is the kind of person I want for marriage. And he had those features, and I remembered sometime I was heartbroken, and I was dealing with it, and I was fasting and praying about it, and I just heard the Holy Spirit say, your husband is coming in, and that was the first time my husband was ever going to visit my house. I'm sure he didn't know why I yelled at him that day, because he didn't look like the kind of picture of man that I wanted God to give me. So, but eventually we got married. Yes, so let's talk about
Were you in school at that time? You graduated already?
No, I was in school.
Oh.
I was in school. Yeah.
You got married while you were in school?
Yeah.
Oh, in uni?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So I was in school.
Okay.
Yes, I was actually in Ondo State then, and I was trying to find my way around school and all of that. Then I left Lagos. I moved, so we would come back and talk, and we would continue from where we stopped and all of that. So I was in school, really, and one of the things, I had issues, as intelligent as I was growing, like in school, like people knew me to be always coming first, always doing this. I also had challenges with gaining admissions into university. I wanted to do medicine, and Jam was jamming me. Jammed me until I think, so, but I'm eventually going to be a doctor, but not a medical doctor eventually, but I'm going to be a doctor, don't worry.
Okay.
So, but I was in school, but I had to talk to myself that I made up my mind that at some point that instead of doing all these things, ladies back in the days, they call it runs and all of that, I'd rather settle with a man that I feel that, so we got talking at some point, and I said, okay, uncle, what do you want? I asked him myself, like, what do you want? He wasn't so sure, but he was also ready for marriage, and one thing led to another. Okay, he never proposed, because both of us, it was a discussion, so it wasn't as if, I don't know, nobody ever proposed to me. I don't know, I missed that part of life. They didn't do flower for me, and all this,
Wow, you didn't know how. So yes,
I see, life deprived me of a lot of things. That's one of the things that life deprived me of.
You can still do that.
Nobody did marry me. Will you marry me? Nobody asked me a question. We sat ourselves down and we talked about it. Are you ready for it? And all of that. Yes, and I got married. Yes, but I'll tell you this: I got married into a family house.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I got married into a family house. And
that was where he was living at that time.
He was living at that time. He was actually, so I got married into a family house at the dad's house. And you see, one thing is this, I know a lot of women go through a lot saying, oh, you don't live in a family house. But the truth is, the society don't discuss this and they don't talk about it. A lot of women still get married in this present age and time, and they still get married into a family house. So the question is, how do you find your fittings? How do you find your way around dealing with in-laws when you get to see them every day? I don't know who created this enmity between in-laws and the wives. That is just something that is just there. You know, once you're getting married,
it's expected.
Yes, you just build this defense. The in-laws are building the defense, and it's even a lot of it's even worrisome when you're not getting married into their into space, that kind of thing. For me, really, I'm grateful for my father. He's a man of wisdom, full of wisdom, and one of the things my dad did for me was this. I did 1 year, what do you call that thing?
What's wrong?
1 year NYSC. But I did 1 year marital NYSC.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody has heard that before.
No, I haven't.
Yes. Okay, so as much as brilliant as I was growing up and as beautiful, and I was really stubborn. So people would literally look at me like, not because I was a wayward child, but because I was really heady. I was really heady. So on the day of my introduction, I'll never forget, November 28th, when my husband came with his family members, my dad looked at me. He looked at my mother-in-law, said, Mama, Shara Motewa Fei, Emulole Koloba Ingbe. Really, man, yes, you hear me right. My dad said that he's still alive. He said, oh man, no, you the bash nonsense. Oh man, no, you. Mama, Emulole Koloba Ingbe for 1 year. I hated my dad for that because I was like, what kind of a man says that to in-laws? You understand? At least you ragabomi and bomila show you that kind of a thing. So my mother said, that means you can't bring her back to this house and say you're not interested. That once she's going with you, I will not tell anybody that my daughter is married. So if you're not interested after a few months and she has showed you her true color. I love this. I haven't heard this before. Yeah, my dad did that. And I thought it was a joke. So that night after my introduction, I was at home and he's like, oh, tell. So I think that night or thereabout, I had to go and sincerely, so my husband and I were living together before marriage. So I had to move in. So now I moved into a family.
At that time, you were still in school, right?
Yeah, I was in school. I was doing a program in school.
Okay.
Actually, you want to marry, no? So my dad was just, he careless, like, you want to marry, so, so we moved in. So sorry, I'm so sorry to cut you. How old were you then? I'd say early 20s.
Early 20s, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So I moved in, we moved in together. So I moved into a family house. Now the problem is, my dad already gave me out, like, So that sort of broke me. So I don't know, and it also helped me because even while I saw some of my in-laws misbehave, I was just like, And also, people are waiting for me at home. Like, the expectation is Omato Wali because nobody believed in me. So I could take in a lot of the excesses. Yes, I could take in. I'm not going to lie that you will not see excesses. And I kind of now understand because sometimes today I'm also dealing with having to open up to receiving strangers in their home. Especially you're coming into a space that this used to be their sitting room. This used to be their bedroom. This used to be their mom's room. You now moved into the family house and you want to come and be the Lord Lugard in that house. It doesn't play out like that. So I tell anybody watching this, see, if you live in a family house, be open-minded. Show them extreme love. Help them deal with them accepting you. yes, it's not going to be easy, but I was able to win over my in-laws with lot of love and patience. I won't tell you it's a smooth ride, but today I'm the best daughter-in-law in that family. I can't blow the trumpet anyway. I'm the best daughter-in-law. When I come into the house and I say, bye, you know, because I was able to win them over. If I'd come in headstrong and say, I'm attacked on you babae, you know, it would have been easy. And I don't know what my marriage would have been like today, because my husband was the kind of man that fight your battles. He wants to have the good boy kind of attitude before everybody. So he doesn't want to get involved, you know. But I was able to deal with a lot of excesses from in-laws, and especially when my husband is the second born out of 7 children. And I have in-laws that are way older than I am. You know, that's another thing. I have in-laws that are way older than myself.
Wow.
Yeah. So it has to deal with everybody. Like, I have to show respect. I have to just take in a lot of, I was living in a family as well. Somebody will wake me up and say, and in-law will say, hey, Pele, my dear, lọba mi ra coke wan be pẹ̀lẹ́ my dear sáré bá mi lọ sí kíní lọba mi re jawa pẹ̀lẹ́ my dear bá mi lọ sí kíní kan kíní. Even when their friends come, that's I don't even I never had really, leave the in-law side. You know, the annoying part is when their friends also come. They also want to treat you in the same manner. Pẹ̀lẹ́ báwo ni wo mo yan kíni báwo ṣe mú wa bá. Yes, I've had a friend of my brother-in-law come one day and say, "Nbo lo nlo kílé tó wọṣọ báyìí lọ change." And my husband was changing his car in the compound, and he just looked away. You know,
Lord, change.
I'm telling you.
Into what? Change.
Change that shot to washer. Yeah. Yeah, so I dealt with all of that, but not for a day did I ever go back home to my dad. Not for a day. I was just able to deal with it. I think on few occasions that I've had to complain that, oh, they did this to me, they did that to me. Maybe I'm trying to complain to my mom or something, and my dad would say, oh, Denny, or day. Ṣùgbọ́n bá yín lé ní iṣẹ́ ò ká lára tó bá lọ bí iṣẹ́ tó bá rẹ̀ tó bá dé onímọ̀ nǹkan tó ń sọ ń pa ẹ̀ now. You know, so that man really helped me in saving a lot of issues in my marriage. I remember one time like that I'll never forget. You know, it happens in a young marriage that you would go home and you check your husband's phone and maybe he's still trying to corner some girls. And we had issues one time, and it was a big fight, a huge fight like that. And he went to report me at home. He went to report me to my dad. And my dad just called me. I started makeup this time around. And my dad said, oh yeah, see studio here, and I went and I saw my husband. My dad was like, hey. My dad was like, hey, Lagoja, hey, only you wo phone or Denny, kini kokini, for me phone. Oh yeah, my girlfriends. Tell her the names of all your girlfriends. Let them know that. To ba fe kulis go te kuloju mi. Yeah, okay, wo for me. What the hell? Da. I was like, is this man really my father? Are you sure my mom did not? Wait. Because the way this man does things, you know, it's so, you know, and it was like, so my husband was feeling like, oh, my father-in-law is the best thing after $1, you know, like that, you know. And, you know, after my husband left, he was like, so my dad said, feel free, oh, any girlfriend. And my husband left, thanked my dad. And when I was about to leave, my dad called me. My dad said, oh, Denye, let me tell you something. You don't check a man's phone. You do everything within your power to be successful. You chase success. When you chase success, even he will not really even want to look at, because it will be difficult for girls to match, you know, like the kind of standard. So he would always look out for someone that would match that standard, and they're not
people who will match up to that standard will not want to date somebody like him.
God bless you.
What is your wife?
Yeah. So he said, just chase after success and stop looking at those things, those excesses. You're worried about somebody chasing your husband. It's your Kailara. Face your job. Be successful. When you're successful, in fact, you really want to be checking your phone. Who is that? Who is this? And one thing is, when I hold on to words tightly, I hold on to words tightly. That word never left me, and I strived for success. I worked out success, and I sat myself down. I sat success down and said, "See, I think this is the way to go," and we've been going. The ride has been smooth.
Thank God. So then after that, so after the 1 year probation, so what happened? So were you returned home or you married legally after that time?
Oh my goodness. So after the 1 year probation, that happened in November. The following year, December, the same day, the following year, we got married. We did we went to registry, we had our traditional marriage, we had a church marriage and everything. Yes, we had everything. But that 1 year, my dad is a man of his word. That 1 year, 1 year. I'm telling
you. You were there?
Yes, I was there.
So after the 1 year, then you got married. What happened? You moved to somewhere else? Or
we were still in the same family house. Same family house. So I was still there with my in-laws. I see them every day. And you're blessed when you marry Jesha people. They are really loving people, really, but they're strong. Their culture is sort of strong. Coming from the kind of background I had, I come from a home where we had this free will. We had a free will. They didn't really have that kind of thing where they're coming from. So I think for me, I started having challenges when I started, I wanted to be a woman, an independent woman, even as a married woman. I wanted to pursue my dreams. So I was more like the only woman in the house. Now that's my new family. So the only woman within that family space, that ecosystem, that wants to be outstanding. Why should you be? So every time I go out and I come back late, someone is frowning or someone is saying things or someone has triggered something that gets...
You're supposed to be home.
Yeah, you're supposed to be, oh, what are you doing? Do you understand? Where are you going to? Why are you coming late? Why are you, someone has triggered something, even when you don't hear them while they said it or but you sense that something, so there's always this tension in the air and all of that. So I remember when I was married before I even started being a makeup artist. I remember when I started out as a makeup artist, and because I had sister-in-laws, a lot of them and their friends, they were always together. And when I told them, I said, I'm a makeup artist, and they were like, and they laughed at me. They said, makeup artist, who's gonna like, I won't tell you, and all of that. But well, regardless of what they thought or what they said, I just went for what I believed in, and I started. And it started growing. Now they respect me. Now they celebrate the success. And everybody is happy. They're always ready to show me up and say, that's my sister-in-law. Even many of them come in, they're and sometimes so when you go and visit, you give envelope to Shema, those kind of things really. Yeah, so it was a struggle. I see a lot of women today that really they want to be successful, they want to start, but they are married and they feel choked that, okay, they are not getting the kind of support they want and all of that. I'll tell you today, see, if you believe, most times you will not get the yes. Even your spouse too will not even believe in your dreams. And I know you won't know what I'm talking about, but really, men begin to celebrate your success when they see that you're taking it seriously and you're beginning to count your blessings and you begin to name them one after the other. So go for what you believe in. Either you do it or you don't do it. It's on you. So if you believe that you want to be successful, you want to make a name for yourself, please go for it.
But how do women who find themselves in that kind of a marriage, in a home, where it's not as easy as you've just said it.
Yes.
In a home where the husband does just not support your dreams at all.
Okay.
And then you're stuck in there. Do you understand? The narrative is changing now.
Yes.
How long ago were you married? For how long have you been married?
About 16 years now.
16 years.
Yes.
The narrative is actually a little different or way different now from then. But there are still a lot of women who are still living in that 16 years ago, 26 years ago, 36 years ago. How do they deal with that?
Okay, so I'll even say it's even better now. You can do business.
It's better, yeah.
There's Instagram. You can even start a business from your, I remember that when I started out, because I was married into a family where they were really conservative, that kind of family that they don't want to be on TV. Even today, my husband doesn't want to be on TV. I am born to be on TV. I am born to be a celebrity. I am born to speak. I am born to. So it still questions that sometimes, yes. Because it's like, why must you talk? Why must you post pictures? Why must you? It's not, I understand where it's coming from, coming from a conservative family. So what did I do at that moment? See, there were conditions. There were conditions for my in-laws. There were conditions that even they didn't really tell me, but I fought those conditions. Not that I fought them rudely. My mother-in-law always say something. Annie, Yetunde, she's an Ijesha person and I love her dearly. She'll say, Yetunde, koni ba eja, she won't gidi okun. I will not say "Mogba mi ogba" or anything. You will say what you want to say, but I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do it. So how did I start out as a makeup artist? I remember then every client, go back to 16, 15 years ago, they will tell you that there was no client that did not know I had children or I had a child. Because my husband will give you the condition, like it wasn't so to probably not
break you or
you say, you can't leave your child. Go with your child. And I wasn't mobile. So I would really strap my child. I will strap my child and go and work. And I'll tell my clients, I'm sorry. So what I did was look for, even things were not really rosy like it was then. I would go to super, buy really ready-made and all of that. You know, I would strap my child and go. Do you get? I remember when I told my husband, this child now, because of my work and all of that, can we start scratch? He said, what is scratch? And I remember one of my brother-in-law said, what is scratch? What is that? And all of that. But I was the first person that paid for the crèche. I paid. At least I've started earning money and I knew what I wanted. I knew I needed more. I needed to go for other trainings to help myself and all of that. When he saw that I'd gone ahead and I wasn't going to look back, so he took up the responsibility. So sometimes men would not really try to support you, but when he said that, yes, you're not giving up. Everybody wants peace in the house. Yes, we've had moments where we had fights, we argued, we were not talking to each other for weeks, for days, and all of that. But at the end of the day, the love that we shared always wants us to come together and resolve whatever issue. And at the end of the day, there's always compromise. Do you get? So,
wow. So now, how was it like for you, a mother of only girls? In a conservative, in quotes,
family.
kind of family.
You really. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to when I was growing up, rather. I saw a lot of women around me, aunties, cousins, around Dugbo, around Le, that had girls, and I saw the way their husband treated them. And I always question why. I had this cousin of mine that they're all 6 girls. I remember when their dad chased them out, they had to move in with us. And we're all like all girls, almost all girls in the family. And I saw what their mom went through, was always crying, was never happy, and all of that, dealing with health issues because, she was just trying to, I grew up around and seeing people like that. And I've always told myself something. If I ever find myself in this position, I'm never going to go through this. I am never going to go through it. So like I said, when I got married, we had a discussion. Sure, you want to get married? Are you ready? I think I don't want to. Okay, then we agreed to get married, right? Sort of, in a way. Then, one day, I think one of the questions I asked my husband one night was this. I said, we were already staying together. Don't come and quote me and say, because he's a pastor, I say you're living lovers. My father approved it too.
You did your introduction. It was approved by parents.
So we're living together as a date. And one night I woke him up. I said, I want to ask you a question. And he said, what was the question? I said, please, is there anywhere in your future that you think you're going to have a second wife? The man kept quiet. In your future? Yes. See, people come, they have issues in their marriages because they don't communicate or they don't ask questions. And I think I'm going to put this out. This is some of the things that counselors should begin to do. If people come to you for counseling, marriage counseling, please list these questions. Ask spouses. You know, somebody now, my husband cannot have a second wife. I'm on here. Abisa, can you have a second wife? You cannot. Because we discussed it. I asked, is there somewhere in your future where you feel that maybe even if I go a wire or I do anything bad that will make you want to pick up a second wife? He said, he didn't answer me immediately, but he said, why did I ask? I said, I want to know. This marriage, we have not gone far. We are just still living together. Okay, so is there anything like that? And he said, no. That's one. Then now when it came to, okay, let's have children, we had a discussion. In fact, we had struggles because it was like, okay, you're not even living together and all that kind of thing. Like, the mom was asking questions, and all of that. So we started treatment, we started prayers, we started all of those things because people question now, like you already.
So you didn't conceive immediately?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not. So then eventually I got pregnant and
that was like how many?
Within a year, sort of before I got married. I think a few months before then. And okay, so Then one day I did a scan. We would always pray and say, my husband say, our son, our son, our son, our son. Then after I did the scan, I came back home. I said, it's a girl. So I noticed that I kept quiet. And coming from the kind of experience I had growing up, I knew. So then at that moment I knew we had to deal with this issue. Why did your countenance change? It wasn't super excited like it was when we were always praying about son. So then he didn't say anything. He said, well, whatever happens. Then fast forward to the following year after my marriage, I had my daughter, and we were in the hospital, and in-laws came visiting, friends came visiting, and some of them said things like, akolo gidonbi, you get. So, olenye obrilobi, you know, they were laughing, they were joking about things like that. Mowo me, kinikon, you know, everybody had a say about the sex of the gender and the sex of the child. And my husband stood and he didn't say anything. But who
were they referring to, you or your husband?
Me now. You know, the mother of the child, you know, the way people will come and greet you and you'll be lying on the bed and say, Obirilobi Ololenie, and those kind of remarks, and, you know, solicited, what I don't know what to call it. But I noticed that my husband didn't say anything, just kept mute, you know. But I didn't like it. I honestly did not like it. Because I expected that in a way he should have said something, but he didn't say anything. Maybe he never thought, or he never thought of, or thought it necessary to say anything. But I did something, and I looked at it, my life. I said, hey, in this family, you're living in a family house. If you keep giving birth to girls, you're going to be in trouble. Because I saw the way they said it, do you understand, the way they went about it. And I looked, see, Dada Oleja. I just turned my back after everybody left. And I told God something. I said, you said every good and perfect gift comes from God. Yes. I said, God, if this is what they said, I said, as you have blessed me, and for every one of them, bless them in return with beautiful baby girls. Yes. Because I felt that maybe Toba carry Dada. So will not be a problem in the family. I just felt, because it got at me, really. So I'm telling you, and since I'm being honest. Yes, and I'm being honest. And I even told God, I said, Tobati dawa mo duro. No, bimo. Let it continue. Take it up from there. Lord, let them have beautiful girls. Some of them are going to watch this video after, and I'm going to say this. If you're watching this and you're one of those people, if you go to God now, ask for mercy and begin to ask for the kind of gender you want, you will get it. But because I meant it, and God honored it. In our families, if you come, we have girls so beautiful, tall, slim, intelligent girls. I'm serious. If I go and they say any of my Guinea Bee mobile, the first I'm always asking is Kilo B. I will say, oh Lord God Almighty, thou art great, thou art mighty. What I will say, welcome. I will carry the baby. I will begin to declare, welcome.
At this point, when you made your prayers, how many girls did you have?
Just one.
Just one. Let it be. Okay.
So I'm serious though. We have girls though. You know, you will come and visit one day. We have girls, beautiful and smart ones though. They know.
It's not the.
No. Like, if you see my children, they are beautiful. Other girls too in the family are really smart. They are very smart. Are very, very beautiful. So when I had my second daughter, I remember my mother-in-law. I don't know. I'm sure maybe she didn't mean it, but she said something. She said, "Omo, ojora eloju okobi bobi onijo." You know, she said it like that. And yes, you know, and that kind of a thing, you know. And I had people come also from the family. We had a grand aunt that came that said the same thing, you know. They would just talk. But really, for me, it wasn't just talk, because it was getting at me to an extent. And I would expect that my husband would just stand up and say, what do they mean? But he wasn't saying anything, or he probably didn't really care. But at that moment, I knew that, see, if you don't have this discussion, sooner or later, people will begin to say things into his ears. Because I've come to realize that with my experience in marriage, sometimes the couples are not the problem. It is what people say
That's right.
Yes, that gets at one of them, and they begin to react to it. So why not deal with that thing now? I feel that if I can have my husband on my side, and he shares the same opinion or he shares the same view about the sex of our children, then I care less what thinks. But if if he's keeping quiet and he's not saying things or he's not reacting to it, then I was on the edge, sort of. So after we had our girl child, I kept quiet. I didn't say anything. Then one day I asked him, I said, "What do you have anything? Do you have anything? Do you feel incomplete if you don't have a girl child?" He said, "What do I mean?" And he walked out. He didn't say anything. Then, but for us in my family, we talk about the number of children we want to have and when we want to have it. So it was about 2 years again, and everybody was already saying, oh yeah, can be more and all of that. Oh yeah, and I knew that the third one was going to be an issue. And if you're in our society, you see a lot of women go to church. Have you seen women raise placard and be prayer points looking for male children?
Oh, of course.
So, and I told myself I was never going to get to that point. I had a friend that had struggles, desperately wanted a girl child, not one, not two of them, like that, and a boy child. And I said, I didn't like the kind of lifestyle. I did not like the way their marriage was heading. And I told myself, I am never going to raise a prayer point for you. I'm not going to go through that emotional torture because, okay, someone wants to validate my womanhood by having a male child. So I'd rather drag it out with my partner. So when it was time for us to have another child, my husband was like, okay, let's start, let's do away with this family planning thing and let's have another child. That was when I popped the question. I said, if this one is a girl, is this marriage still going to be the same? Are you still going to love me the same way? Are you going to be happy? And he said, why would you even always think like that? Why are you always thinking negative? I said, if it is a girl.
Negative.
Yeah. Like, why are you always thinking negative? Then I knew, So I said, it is anything. So I did not also do the, they already told him, so I did not remove the family planning. I did not. Year 1, year 2, year 3, we were on it. I did not. Because I knew that the third one would be a problem. That's when they begin to count it for you, really. So I wasn't ready. I did not. I think my mom came, my mother-in-law came, my dad called. People were saying, why you, the husband said, you are da. I said, okay. I will ask him again, is it going to be the same thing? The same way? You understand? I know you're a great father, you're going to love your children, but am I going to be on the edge? Am I going to be going through some...
There's still going to be a vacuum.
Yes, exactly. Then one day he just came home so excited. He said, he saw a client of his. He has all girls. He has doctors. He has this. He doesn't care. Any child, any this, any whatever. The man was going on about girl child. I not even gotten pregnant too. I said, yes, this is it. Now I have my man on my side. He shares he doesn't care whatever sex or your gender of the child. So that was good for me. Then that was about the 5th year. Then we went to the hospital together. We did the family planning thing. We took it out and I got pregnant. Unfortunately, it was a boy. But I lost the pregnancy. Yes, it was a boy. And I lost the pregnancy, I think 7 months into 8 months. Yes, I lost the pregnancy. A lot of people didn't know and all of that. But really, and I saw that my husband, maybe it would have shaken him more if we had not had that discussion, prior to that time and all of that. But we all took it in good light and we moved past it. And the following year again, I got pregnant and I had a daughter. Now let me shock you. So, because I had more like a stillbirth during the previous year, even my mother-in-law had come to that point because she heard about the surgery, she heard about what I went through, that I almost died and all of that. In fact, at this point, nobody cared about any gender. In fact, I knew that if you ask my husband that day, if you ask him, he's a boy or your boy or your wife, he will tell you that my wife, Nibo, you get. So, but I'll tell you that I came home. My baby was barely 72 hours old when a neighbor came in. My mom was like this, my mother-in-law was like this, and the neighbor came in and after carrying the baby, she was like, Mommy Lagbaja, why didn't you talk to your doctor? These days, if you want a male child, you just need to talk to your doctor and they will know what to do, the kind of injection to give you and all of that. My mom just gave her this bombastic side eye. My mother gave her one wicked injection kind of look, like kind of look. And it dawned on me that for her to even have voiced it, do you know the things they would have been saying in their house? Do you know the impression neighbors around too would have had? I mean, what makes people think that you can just talk about people's children,
family?
So you really not even come to celebrate. You're saying you carried a little baby, meaning that you're not seeing the baby, you are seeing problem. Do you get? Say, oh, I should have talked to your doctor. I can have a male child and all of that. And that went on. And after that, when people come and say, oh, my husband will be the first person to say, sorry, Kini. Kilo she take Dani. You said that. Kilo she take Dani. Yes, after one like Kilo she won. You get, so he was not the one responding. I really, these days, I really talk. Because if you say things now, my husband will just stand up to you and be like, are you talking about my children? Like, I don't get. What are you saying?
What's your...
You get that kind of a thing. So we were able to pass through and we moved past that. Even though still, I still get people say things like that. When I was in trade fair a few months ago with my children, and all these Igbo guys were all like, madam, all your girls are fine, but you go still give us boy. You need to give your girl boy you. It's compulsory. It's important. They were lecturing me. And I looked at them like this. And I know for them, their culture is even another thing. Do you know how many women have died? Just because they want to fulfill...
For a particular gender, a boy.
Because they want to fulfill marriage. They want to validate motherhood. So they will need a boy child. They need I don't know what maybe the arole or the child with the golden hair. I don't understand. It's really a battle in our society. You know, a lot of women have been talked down. A lot of women cried their eyes to bed. They still want this. I can't go. I see people go to church. Ask pastors. A lot of them will tell you. Ask clerics. They'll tell you how women come to them praying and expecting a male child. What should a male child validate womanhood? I'm glad for people who have male children, but have you seen my girls now? Those girls are cute. Yeah.
Very cute.
If you have a male child, I'm happy for you. If you have female children, please be grateful. And even if you don't have at all, please be thankful for life. I don't ask people, why don't you have children? Why are you single? Why are you this? I think our society needs to do better. We need to have a society that is sane. Don't meddle in people's business. Don't ask questions that they do not, you can be sensitive. You don't go to people's house and say, you don't. Nobody asks you for your opinion. Keep it, sip it, save it, shove it in. You get, because a lot of women go through I've seen women I've heard women sleep with pastors, they sleep with people, sleep around. You hear this one had children, and now people are shouting DNA. Why wouldn't people be sleeping around because they want to validate their womanhood? They want to really have a male child because the society feels they are incomplete. I'm sorry, uncle, if you're looking at me, auntie, anywhere you are, male or female, I'm a complete woman. Have you seen this woman? I have girls and I'm complete.
Yes. It's not a child that will complete you. If you are not complete, you are not complete. Marriage does not complete anybody. Children does not complete anybody. Money does not complete anybody. Only God can complete you. Exactly. So if you feel incomplete, you are just incomplete on your own. So it's nobody's business.
So I'd say this, that women need to begin to really talk. Have this talk. Especially if you're just getting married or if you're still single now, please, there are some things you should list out that you need to discuss with your spouse. You know, I tell people that you will save yourself a lot of trouble if you have this communication, even if you don't get your answers right. What if I have girls? What if I have all boys? What if one day we have an accident and I can't work again? Maybe they say it's for better, for worse. The other might think you're being superficial or you're thinking negatively, but put it out there. Are you going to have a second wife? Are you going to have this? See, these things, when you put it out there, so it checks everybody.
But do you think,
yes,
all that question will still stop? For instance, one of the basic questions that you ask was if at any point in his life, if he was going to have a second wife. Do you think that question will also stop him if he wants to?
Auntie me. You don't let us be playing with fire like that now. We had this discussion. You see, it's not a talk on Oriawan.
I know a lot of men will be there.
The best time to talk to a man is when he's still all over you. Have this discussion. Document it if you have to document. I can document mine. All right, so I'd say this, really. Document it if you have to document it. But really, don't go into marriage head over heels and say you are falling in love. Stand in love. Be wise in love. I was young, really, but I asked questions. And even till date, I still ask some questions. If someone like Bishop Oyedepo would tell the wife to come and sign that, see, I want to be a man of God. You get as far as the 70s or early 80s. Who am I not to ask questions? Please ask questions. People have problems in marriage because they don't ask the real questions, deep questions. What if you are poor today? Do you get? Nobody wants to be poor, but at least don't say when we get to the bridge you cross it. People never cross that bridge, but at least it's somewhere. Research some. I'm not saying that okay, I was a saint, but we talked about this thing. You can't. Do you think somewhere in your life you're going to have a second wife? Let me know now. It's not so that we'll know how many children do you want us to have. We talked about these things. One day I looked at my husband, even when we were married. I said, "Why am I not your next of kin?" He looked at me and said, "Shofek Pamini." I said, "No. Why can't I be your next of kin?" We argued over it. We fought about it. He said, "I'm trying to." I said, "No. What if something happens today? What will be the fate?" I think he had to go and think about it. Just, he's my next of kin. I'm his next of kin.
That's right.
When we bought one property, I said, "Please, sir, why is my name not there? We have big business. Why am I not a director? You get? Why can't you be a director too in my business? He's my director. We are both directors, because this is what we signed up to. I'm your better half. Either you like it or not. Forget what the society thinks." Today, a lot of men die, and their wives don't have access to their ATM number. It's so sad. I'm sure in their grave they will be turning and rolling. People will never. Their children will be miserable. I don't want that kind of life. Uncle, why can't I have your ATM pin? Do you think I'm going to be reckless with spending? Don't you trust me enough? And all of that. And please, women too, we need to do better. When men begin to trust you with little things, please take responsibility.
Yes.
Take responsibility. Don't be reckless. Somebody now said, okay, let me listen to this woman. Let me give my wife ATMP. The next thing, you have shopped for women hair. You have shopped for all the brands. No. So, but let's ask questions. Document it all. If with this age and time now that people are just giving themselves that divorce baskets, please document. Yes.
Okay, lastly, so I can let you go. I know you are a proprietress. Is that what you call it? So what has owning a school, what has it taught you differently?
All right, so I think for me as a school owner, the first thing is we get to deal with different families, people from different backgrounds. That's another issue. And coming from this generation, we have a lot of parents that are Gen Zs in our schools. Hey, you don't want to know. We have a lot of Gen Zs. Someone who's like, so we also tend to take up the responsibility, and I know a lot of school owners that are also out there. We now take up the responsibility of teaching the children and teaching the parents as well. And we have a strong school system where whatever we teach the children today, children can be really forceful. Or they can be really demanding. When they go, my auntie said that this is it. My auntie said don't sit like that, don't talk like that. My teacher says, Mr. Adebayo says don't do this. So parents begin to change over time as well. Yes, so it's an interesting one. It's challenging really, because you're not just dealing with a family, you're dealing with several people. You're dealing with you are also dealing with the children, even the people that work for us. We are dealing. Some of them come bruised with bruised eyes, and I'm like, what happened? So it's a lot of work, but I'm also using that that little avenue to really get at people, to teach them that, see, and my husband and I now, we are more like a mentor. You see, you can who says that in this world you can't do business with your husband? You understand? We are both school leaders. We don't both do business together, and we are accountable. We are accountable. So who says you can't have a happy home? Who says you can have all girls and be happy? Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't be married and be sweet and be good looking? Who made the rules? Please break the rules, break the norm, do something different. So you can have it all. I tell people you can have it all. You can be successful. You can have your man that supports you. I was in the US for how many months, and my husband took over the house. Do you understand? Both of us right now we are doing our masters. He's in 2 different universities. I am doing mine as well. And people ask us, you're still both going to school. How are you doing? How are you managing that? How are you managing being business owners, different business owners? And you still find love and all of this, so you can be everything. The most important thing is if you're able to address everything that matters to your life, to your family, with your spouse, and both of you connect, you understand, you're going to have a beautiful home. I'm not saying that does not rule out the fact that we have our days of we are not talking to each other, I'm not talking to you. That one is normal. But you always at the end of the day come back together. But really the most important thing is you have all it takes to enjoy your home if you do the right thing. Yeah.
Lastly, what has life taught you as a person?
Okay, as a person, life has taught me to get what I want. If I want it, get it. Yeah. Get what I want. I don't need anybody to validate me.
That's right.
Get it. So I tell people, if I feel like flying today, I'm out flying, I don't care what you think about, and I don't even need your opinion. As long as my flying does not harm you or hurt you in any way, you know what? I'm going to fly. I directed my own movie at some time. Maybe I shared it with you. I felt like acting that period, and I had few changes. I called director. I said, I have a story. Let's do short film. I did my short film. I moved past it. I sing. If I feel like singing, I sing. Life has taught me to take whatever I want, because life will never present you anything. You have to take it.
Take it.
You have to earn it. You have to take it. And if you're looking for people that, even motivational speakers, they make life, they'll tell you they started with 1 cup of rice, the following week they're cooking, they make it seem like impossible to you. Go for it. Start from where you are.
That's right.
Validate yourself. Don't wait for the world to validate you.
That's the point there. Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Adebayo, for coming on the show. I had so much fun. I'm sure everybody in the studio here will love it. And I am very sure that my viewers, they can't afford to miss this episode. I know they love it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We appreciate you. And this is a small gift from Talk to Be to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. You've heard it all. I am sure you've learned. You can't tell me you haven't learned something. Lastly, she said, validate yourself. Do not wait for the world to validate you. All right, guys, till I come your way next week. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do like, share, drop a comment so that I know you love this program and you're enjoying it. But above all, please talk to people about Talk to Be. Till I come your way next week, do not forget, whatever you're doing, put God first, be determined, and stay focused. I'll see you next time. Till then, God bless you.
Talk to be.
Talk to Be.
Talk to be. Talk to be.
Talk to Be. Talk to Be.
Talk to be.
Talk to Be.
Yeah, you have to talk to be.
Talk to Be.
Talk to be.
Talk to be.
Talk to be.